One night not long ago, I fell for you. Too easy to let go. She was one from your past, one of the few. You said it didn't last. Now, Romeo, you know I can't believe my heart would bust so easily. I know you think I ought to let it be, but get it right next time. That's the end of me. My name is not Susan. You better watch what you say. And if you still need her, then be what? Listen. Hey, y'all. I just realized because I came on camera, I forgot what I had on today. And I just realized I had on my Whitney Houston shirt. Hey, everybody. Hi, beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Y'all, I'm tired. Ooh, I'm tired. It's been a long couple of days. Yes. Back to power. That's it. That's it. Do y'all miss Whitney like I miss Whitney? I miss Whitney so much. Oh, hello, sending you love, Nikki. Your young brothers are standing with you. I know y'all are. Y'all, it's been a real fantastic couple of days. In spite of the challenges that we've been going through, in spite of the OODA, the owners of the algorithm, trying to prevent me from accessing my 200,000 followers. They only giving me 5, 10, 15 at a time. You dig what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter if there's one, but one. We're going to still talk about it. So it's some really good things happening, y'all. Yes, because music was just different. Right, it is different. It is different. Let me put on my glasses so I can see what y'all saying. Yeah, music is just, it's hitting different. It's hitting different. It ain't hitting like it was hitting in the 90s. Not at all. That's my computer glare, but oh well. Thank you, Steve Black. Thank you. I appreciate ya. Thank you so much. So, you got this glare is driving me crazy. I can see y'all now. So, guys, we just did our first in-studio episode of She Speaks Live. And when I tell you, that episode was so good. It was so good. It was so good. I was shocked. I had a wonderful conversation with my soror, Latavia Roberson, founder, one of the founding members of Destiny's Child. I wasn't ready. I'm not even going to hold y'all up. I wasn't ready. I was like, ooh, oh. And she held nothing back. She gave it all. And I can't wait for y'all to see this interview. So we are in post. We are in post-production. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. It'll be, the first episode is coming September 1st. So, we had to give you guys, Christine Beatty is back. My sister, my friend, Dr. Stacey J. Johnson. Y'all probably follow her on Instagram already because she's helping people in their love and relationship space. And we had a special guest host who I want to come back all the time, the incomparable Darlene McCoy. We had a couple other people lined up, but there were some scheduling conflicts and some, just divine order. Everything happens in divine order. Everything happens when it's supposed to. But let me tell y'all, when I tell y'all what I'm going to tell y'all, do not miss this episode. The political episode is crazy. The episode is called Love and Politics. So we're talking about how this political election impacts people's relationships with their kids, with their spouse, with other family members, and how we can cope and deal with that. And also just that incredible DNC speech, right? I'm going to talk about it tomorrow night. I'm going to do a Nights with Nikki. I might even do one tonight. Who knows? But that incredible DNC speech. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is we are not going back. We are not going back. I don't want to get too deep into the political stuff because that is the reason why we have the show She Speaks Live. And that's the reason why Christine Beatty and Stacey J. Johnson, and a lot of you don't know that Stacey J. Johnson actually, she my friend and we've been friends for 30 years. So I, call her Stacey, but I have to remember to call her Dr. Stacey. She's good at letting me know. She is Dr. Stacey J. Johnson. Matter of fact, speaking of doctor, congratulations. I see up and down my timeline that there's a whole lot of people getting their doctorates or their honorary doctorates. And baby, when I tell you, I congratulate you in the biggest possible way, because guess what? Your girl can't get no honorary doctorate. Well, I could, but I'm just, proud of everyone who is doing it. I don't know what it means. I'm just going to be all the way real with you. I'm from Detroit. I can't help it. I don't know exactly what it means, but my BFF, Stacey J. Johnson, wants to make it clear that it is Dr. Stacey J. Johnson, even though we've been friends for 30 years. So, yeah, you guys, we had a awesome show last night. What I'm most proud of, just to give y'all a little brief history on She Speaks Live. I created She Speaks Live right around 2015, 2016. My grandson was born. And, I just started learning the importance of ownership of intellectual property. It is not something that we are taught or encouraged to pursue. Sit there now. It's not something that we're encouraged to pursue as creatives. It's too bright. I guess the dumber we are, the less informed we are, the more beneficial it is to the corporations that exploit the intellectual properties we create, right? So when I noticed that the Department of Justice put together a reparations task force, I think it was a couple years ago, and one of the chapters, I believe it's chapter 9, don't quote me, speaks on the impact of IP deprivation on the Black community. And when I think about trademarks, now I own the trademark for my name. Now I own the trademark I don't own shit. Be clear. Because I'm learning that. I learned that lesson a little later in life, a lot later in life, more recently. But needless to say, coming up in the 90s, being an artist, we were not encouraged to have a better understanding of our finances. We were not encouraged to have a better understanding of intellectual property and ownership and trademarks, because it worked out better for the corporations if we were just young and dumb and chewing bubble gum and geeked up about fame. And I was young, and I was young. I wasn't so dumb because, I had parents that worked in entertainment. My dad worked for years in quality control for Motown Records. And Motown moved to LA, and my dad moved with them. My dad wrote lots of songs that you guys hear on the radio all the time. But even then, they weren't educated in the importance or the value of their contributions, as creatives. Right? So there wasn't a lot to pass down in terms of ownership language. When I first started hearing language about ownership and artists and y'all listen, they already going to have like 3 of y'all on this live. So share it. I'm also going to share this on my YouTube, which is worth.tv YouTube. I'm building my little YouTube channel up. So please I always forget to do this. Let me do it right now. Hold on. And y'all, my eyes are puffy, not because I've been crying, but because I'm tired as hell. TV. And I ain't putting on no makeup to cover it up, because I'm tired. Worth.tv. So I don't want there to be any confusion about what these are. This is the YouTube. So we're on for that, babe? Okay. I'm coming on to y'all a little live because we have some other stuff we got to do. But okay, so let me explain to you what I just pinned. So worthtv.com is our streaming platform, and that is right now loaded with lots of really good shit. So go log on. It's $19.22 for the year for everything, or you can just do it for free. I mean, the point is that you sign up. Just sign up, because As long as you sign up, you're watching. And as long as you're watching, guess what? We can talk to advertisers and still make a living off this here thing. But it's for us, by us, great content. But let me kind of finish telling y'all about the importance of, right? If you don't listen to shit, I say, if you don't listen to no thing, listen to this. Because here's the gag. I don't have anything to gain from you failing. I don't have anything to gain from me holding on to my personal experiences in this up-ass industry and you not being made aware of this 30-year journey that I've been on and how difficult it has been, right? The industry is changing drastically. And one thing we're learning is that nostalgic content, nostalgic songs, nostalgic movies, classics, the shit that we actually put work into and developed and created so that it would have longevity. It's funny, I went to a fitting today for our show in Vegas. Get y'all tickets for Brownstone, please. Get your tickets for Brownstone. But I went to a fitting today. And when I went into the woman's beautiful space, I saw all of this gorgeous, like really great quality material, like really great craftsmanship and just really dope. And I saw this suit and we got to talking and I was like, I got my dad's pea coat from when he was in the army or whatever. And I was like, and it's in great condition. Like, it's just great. I was like, when you make, she was like, yeah. I was like, this is that kind of quality that'll just be around that people can pass your pieces on to generations, right? I got this beautiful dress or vintage Chanel or whatever. And we talked about how the quality of something that a person of color creates, because we are so dope with the shit, is something that will be around for you to pass on for generations. People get Chanel bags and when you're talking fashion. And we were just talking about how important it is to understand the value of what you're creating while you're creating it so that you can protect your legacy and pass down generational wealth and wellness. And unfortunately, Black people coming from slavery, BIPOC people coming from slavery, have become conditioned to believe that just having enough to get by and not be a slave is enough. And that we should be lucky or glad or happy with having just enough. And everything else we create beyond just barely getting by, the excess, the extra, the stuff that goes on to live for centuries. Because the thing about intellectual properties and music and art and film, that is why they tell you, invest your money in art. Because the Rembrandt and the Mona Lisa and all that shit wasn't just created last week. It is something that someone knew would hold value. It is something that value was created or given to, that people have been able to pass down from one generation to the next. And our art and our creativity. My husband painted that Diana Ross painting. And he also painted that Bob Marley painting that you guys see on All My Life. Oh, yeah. Look, listen right here. And he also painted this dope ass, can y'all see it? That dope ass MJ right there. Right? And this Nina Simone up here. And you better believe that this family is adding value to the intellectual property and the art that he created. The same way I added value to Soul Kittens Cabaret when I pitched it to the CEO of Lionsgate. Oh, y'all thought I was finished? Oh, she's just getting started. So when I created She Speaks Live, which is what we was talking about, before I get into this slashing, and then we got a meeting we got to go to. When I created She Speaks Live, there was a void. This late night politics, community, smart, knowing what the fuck you're talking about, television that doesn't require us to be clowns and doesn't require us to be ratchet and throwing shit and breaking shit. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. This ratchet shit is about to stop. I think people are starting to realize that the swag that Kamala Harris, Kamala, period. Kamala, period. That swag that Kamala has, that smart, educated, powerful, no nonsense, take no shit, suited and booted, hair whipped, natural, black woman, I am woman, hear me roar, Indian woman, BIPOC woman, biracial woman who has her shit together and is not popping, locking, and thotting. That's the new fly shit. And this narrative and agenda that's been put out here by culturally incompetent white male lens to keep our community dumbed down and thotted out and fighting and divided is over. It's done. It's finished. Because we're going to elect someone into this country who is going to listen to the appeals of people like myself and others who have constantly been trying to make it clear that the preeminent business assets that we create, i.e. our intellectual properties that we create, not the CEO sitting up collecting $25 million a year because he was able to trick motherfuckers into rewriting people's shit. I'm not saying that anybody did that in my case. I'm just saying it happens all the time in Hollywood, you know. Or people who have relationships here and relationships there and can call their buddy over here and blah, blah. It all, see, I don't have the money to fight y'all. Y'all got billions of dollars. I ain't got it. In my Tasha K voice, I ain't got it. In real life, I ain't got it. And the fact is, because I'm not interested in some low ball crackhead offer for the intellectual property that we all know for sure that you paid at least $100 million to a first-time showrunner named Katori Hall to do. $100 million. That intellectual property held value. That story of the little venue in Detroit. Auntie Burlesque. The gentrification of a black community. The stories of those women who were impoverished and walking walks that only women in impoverished cities could walk. The 57 comparisons, the chart, and the conversation we sat down and had that 5 people remember and 1 CEO doesn't. And the irony is the lawyer who referred me to the CEO of Lionsgate is his buddy, and they work together, and that's the only reason why I was able to sit down in front of him. Everybody remembers but him, but somehow we redact his testimony because niggas don't need to hear that or see that. And unfortunately, we live in a world where those rules are perfectly acceptable, where I, as an individual, creating an intellectual property that is proven to be worth the investment, per the CEO. We gave Katori Hall $100 million for P-Valley, and nobody's ever done that before with a first-time showrunner, and it's proven to be very beneficial for us, and I hope that other people will follow suit and do the same damn thing, is what the man said. That's what he said on video. And then she said that she and the CEO were swapping each other's story ideas, and the pitch session became a work session, and then she found out later that she had gotten a gig. And that's what it was. It was a gig. It wasn't a partnership. It wasn't a partnership. I don't think it was a partnership. I don't think Katori Hall has ownership of that IP. I don't think her children own 50% or 45% or any significant percentage of the P-Valley brand. I don't think that's the case. I don't think anybody gave her $100 million and ownership. See, I worked with Tyler Perry for years, and I heard the stories of how successful you can become, as did the whole world. In Maxine's Baby, they said, I went to Lionsgate, I met with them, I told them that the only reason I will do this is if I have ownership of my IP and I can license it to you. And they did that, and now I'm richly ever after, and wealthily ever after, and able to build studios-ly ever after. Not because I'm a genius, no shade, but because I had the opportunity to retain ownership of the intellectual properties that I created and I got 50% at least of everything that came in on it. And I had an investor come into my life. Tyler tells the story all the time. I had the same investor. He doesn't tell my story. In his story, he shot his content and licensed it. And the same person who helped him develop all of the plays and the tours and helped him do those initial DVDs and licensing is the same person who was invested in me and the same person who sent me into that meeting at Lionsgate, understanding that those were the kinds of deals that they did. Hey, baby, I see y'all. I'm sorry, there I go. Look, I took a day off, so I had to come back with the comeback because like I said, I'm going every time I think about it because what it's not going to do is make me crazy. It's going to make me smart, strategic, relentless, super faithful, prepared to lay on the sword, and willing to share my story to educate, inform, and empower future generations. Because I can do nothing about the fact that I came to a judge seeking protection and help as a writer and a creator in an industry that generates billions and billions and billions of dollars off of creative ideas. See Tyler Perry. See P Valley. Why hasn't there been a deal done by Lionsgate and the same executive who gave the deal to Tyler Perry that I met with the same person who funded Tyler Perry? Why did he choose not to do the deal I pitched to him, which was a mirror of the Tyler Perry deal? Hey, sir, that's the reason why the lawyer called you. She's got the same investor Tyler got. She got a play just like Tyler had. She had Fantasia, Faith Evans, all these people in her play. She wants to turn it into a dramatic series. She got a script for a pilot. You and the other guy that I'm friends with, who I won't name out of respect, should meet with her. Sure, we'll meet, friend. Send her in. I go in, I sit across from you, and I share this brilliant story of this gender fluid, non-binary, gay, LBGTQIA, whatever you want to call it, although the judge feels that the difference in the two is that my character's gay and their character's non-binary, which, as I've said a million times, non-binary was not a term that we used when I copyrighted it in 2004, 20 years ago, but the character's the same person. Uncle Clifford, Tata, meaning auntie in French, burlesque, both in relationships with down low men. Both have a club that's sitting on valuable land at risk of a homophobic antagonist played by Isaiah Washington and P Valley, played by Donald Gray and Soul Kittens, both wearing fedoras, drinking from flasks, and smoking cigars, both setting up using an inside man to set up the club, and both shows beginning with a girl with a red suitcase coming in from the middle of West motherfucking Bumblefuck. Mysterious, shy, who changes in the bathroom but want to work at a strip club, who comes in dressed conservatively and is pointed over to a wardrobe whack. Katori, nobody believes this came from you, sis. Not a soul. And why am I going so hard? I'm going so hard because the judge in my case not only threw it out because those similarities weren't enough for him. Not only did he throw out an expert report I paid over $50,000 for, saying that an expert who worked with the Mario Puzo family, who has 30 years of experience, and there only is a limited criteria you have to meet to be an expert. He reads scripts all the time. He said there is no way that P Valley could happen without Soul Kittens Cabaret. There are substantial similarities even with the extrinsic and intrinsic and all this legal mumble jumble bullshit. Excuse me, no disrespect to law, but all this stuff. All this, we'll take that out because all that. He said without a doubt. And the judge is a better expert than the expert because the judge has decided that no. Your character is homophobic and their character is homophobic. This is all in the paperwork. I'm not sharing anything that's not a public document. I'm just sharing it with y'all because, hey, if I lose my house tomorrow because Lionsgate, the multi-billion-dollar company, got a judgment for $600,000 from the judge, I want y'all to know why. If my grandson loses his education in the future, I want you to understand, this case isn't frivolous. As the judge stated, my case was frivolous, even though the magistrate allowed us to depose the CEO of the company that I met with. The magistrate isn't the federal judge who called it frivolous. The magistrate judge said, no, I think that we need to hear from the CEO. I wasn't going to be given any discovery. And I got 6 to 8 weeks or some shit. Like, I don't know. It's a blur. When most people get 6 to 9 months. The judge ordered the defendants to refile their motion to dismiss as a motion for summary judgment, to just kick it out and not give me a chance at a trial at all, after me spending over $1.3 or $5 million with my lawyers, their lawyers asking for $1.6 million. Expert reports, mediations, this shit cost $3 to $5 million collectively. But it's frivolous. It went on for 4 years. But it's so frivolous that it's going to oral hearing with the appeals in just a few months. And I've read online, I don't know for sure, don't want to get into the weeds of it. I'm not a lawyer. I shouldn't be talking about this, but I'm going to say it because I'm from Detroit and that's what we do. And I'm a mama child and that's what I do. I heard appeals courts don't listen to frivolous cases in oral hearing. Yet, the judge granted them attorney fees, saying my case was frivolous and that I should have been told by my team that I was never going to win it. And that this should teach me a lesson to not be trying to come after these companies and mess with them, basically. Paraphrasing, of course. I went to the court for protection. And I was discarded like I was nothing. Like my husband served in this country in the military. And now Lionsgate potentially taking our home because the judge gave them the permission to do it. And here's the thing about it. We're cool. We've already accepted it. We've been here for a long time. If God wants us to walk this walk all the way, trust me, the news cameras will be outside while we're moving all of our shit out of the home that we've been in for 10 years. That's supposed to be generational wealth for my grandson. My husband served this country. We have struggled for 4 years because of this litigation. And now the judge really socks it to us and says, and you're going to pay the $1 billion company that you came to me saying took your stuff. You're going to pay them $600,000. And basically, I don't care that you're in the middle of an appeal. And I don't care that you're going to oral arguments. I'm going to give them the right to collect immediately. We're not issuing no stay. They can come take your shit tomorrow. So in that case, we're going to talk about it every single day until the motherfuckers, hey, we got an order to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Because we've already accepted that this is the journey that we have to take. We've already accepted that this is the trial that we have to endure. When I said in a previous post that adversity is a midnight snack for me, I meant it with my whole soul, because my entire existence in this industry since the day I got into it has been nothing but a constant fight for equality. It's been nothing but I sold 3.6 million albums at $10 each. The math is real simple. My budget for album number 2, our budget for album number 1 was $250. Not recouping video costs and certain other recording costs. The budget for album number 2 was $350, $400. So maybe we spent in the 90s close to $1 million. We sold 3.6 million records at $10 a pop. That's $30 million. And I still owe the record company $1 million. This is what I mean when I say this is my version of I've had enough. Because when you're asking for fairness and you're asking for equality. And when you get to the point where you're 54 years old and you got a grandson that has to go to college someday, and you got a granddaughter who has to go to college someday, and you have family members that are aging and you have to be caregivers for them, and you're aging and you have to figure out how to care for yourself, and you spent your entire career creating great works, and you discover through research that it just ain't happening to you. The creator of Good Mother Times, Mr. Eric Monty, this is a 50-year IP, and his family's struggling. Like, not to put their business in the street, because we're having a whole conversation on She Speaks Live about it, and you guys will hear it all. But for all intents and purposes, they're not thriving. And it's 4 generations of them the way they should be thriving. They're thriving, not the way they should be thriving, after having been a part of Good Times, All in the Family, Cosby Show, Cooley High, like all of this shit this man created. And it was just snatched up from under him. Sophia Stewart created like the most successful franchise ever, and it was just snatched up from under her. And our community does a real number on people who speak up for their rights and their intellectual properties, not understanding I create jobs for people. I don't just do shit. Like, I'm not just out here solo by myself on stage looking cute, doing the wop shop, boo bop, wop the bam. I'm creating content and bodies of work and ideas and stories and things that will be around in perpetuity. R&B divas. Same thing happened to R&B divas. Same thing happened. Same thing happened, which is why I can't wait for y'all to see this conversation between me and Latavia. Same thing happened on R&B divas. Culturally incompetent white male lens took something I created and thought that they was going to make a whole lot of money off of it. And they made a lot of money for a short period of time. But as I've stated to the people with P-Valley, as I've stated to the people at R&B divas, laws of nature. This ain't got shit to do with me. God, karma, nature. You cannot take the heart and the soul out of something. You cannot take what created it, what gave birth to it, what made it work. The creative, the spirit. You can't take the spirit out of something and expect it to live. You can reanimate it as many times as you fucking want, but it's not going to ever be the hot shit, which is why this music industry is suffering the way that it is. Because how you got a music industry without Prince, who complained about how foul you motherfuckers were? How do you have a music industry without Michael Jackson, who complained about how foul you motherfuckers were? How do you have a music industry without this one? It's not possible. It's gonna go away. It's gonna be done. That's why y'all motherfuckers shutting down, because God does not operate in that space. All we wanted was to be respected and acknowledged and make sure that our future generations have the same opportunities that your kids got, and you ain't even work for this shit. All you did was be a Nepo baby and get a fucking job and go find somebody's shit or steal somebody's shit or have somebody to hire somebody to redo somebody's shit. Whatever it is you did, it's not going to last. It's coming back to you tenfold. It's not going to work. And that's not about me being evil. And that's not about me I just know how it works. I've seen it play out. It didn't work for R&B divas. And now, thank God, I own my trademark. It came back to mama. You love something, set it free. I walked off the show. I left it alone. It went away. Wait till you hear the conversation that we recorded last night on She Speaks Live, Diary of a Diva mashup with Latavia. Y'all are going to learn at some point that everybody ain't crazy. That all your favorites who are out here telling you that they've been manipulated by people who do not care anything about us, our community, and what we need to pass down to our kids. We have been manipulated, and y'all get so caught up in the hype of some letters. ABC, NBC, TV, instead of realizing that it's actually creating something dope and amazing spreading the wealth amongst the people who are actually investing sweat equity and really making this thing happen, cutting out these middleman ass producers and middleman ass connectors and middleman ass motherfuckers who ain't doing nothing but talking a good game and got relationships with somebody because they done set their asses up and got dirt on them or something like that. And not working collectively in unity together with the people that it takes to make something amazing happening, and keeping it in the community and keeping it in the community of people who are putting it together and allowing that generational wealth and wellness to continue to grow and thrive for our children. See, the problem they have with me is that I see you. And I have a different kind of protection over me. I don't care about this here realm and space we're in. What I care about is what's going to be around in perpetuity, which is what you make us sign agreements agreeing to at 23 and 24 years old. That in perpetuity, we got ownership of your name and your likeness and your music and your art. That is slavery. Ask yourself why there is a slave in music and there is a master in music. Do your research. See, back in the 90s, take the 2-inch tape and literally write slave across the tape and put it over here. And they get another tape and they write master across the tape. Because it's built on fundamentally disrespectful and egregious, draconian contracts that could just simply be resolved by being fair. That could just simply be resolved by really caring about the people who create these brilliant masterpieces of art that make billions and millions. If you gave somebody $100 million, I'm assuming that you at least thought you was going to make, what, 300-400 million? I don't know how much you made. But you also did it in Atlanta, where you get back 30-something% in a tax credit for every $1 million or however much you spend. And you gave this lady a first look deal. Katori Hall got a first look deal for a story she didn't even create. And that first look deal in 2020 has not yielded any fruit because, like I said, it won't ever, because it was never yours. That second season was trash, and y'all know why. The third season that you're struggling to make is also trash, and y'all know why. And I haven't even seen it, but it's trash. And it's trash because it wasn't yours. And to think that there was a point in my process of this case where I was like, well, maybe there is a world where I could come in and help her write a great season of P-Valley. Maybe there is a world where I can go in and really help these characters develop and grow and become something great that could really be a legitimately successful show because I'm involved in what I created. But imagine you create a story 20 years ago and you go and you sit down with someone who you trust because your attorney, who you trust, who's friends with this person, refers you, and you leave all of your materials after this thing airing on BET, after this thing had Fantasia in it, this thing had Faith in it, and it's the same beginning, middle, and end. And you see this thing, and imagine coming out of losing my parents, both of them back to back, coming out of losing my best friend and group member right before that, coming out of a pandemic where we weren't working and able to do anything, going immediately into a litigation that cost $1.5 million that I still owe. Having an airtight case with merit, being in Atlanta for a whole year before it just mysteriously gets plucked out of Atlanta, snatched up and dropped into the lap of a judge who, guess what? People named in my litigation and been before him before for the same reason. Taking somebody's idea, turning it into something, And I knew when it got there that it wasn't going to go nowhere with this judge. I just knew it wasn't, because I read all the things about the judge that I had. I like to be prepared. And I knew that this guy was tough. And I knew that he never really rules in favor of the plaintiffs. And I knew my only real shot was going to be the Ninth Circuit, which is where we are now. And that feeling is so vulnerable. It's such a vulnerable feeling. Because you could have a case where tens of thousands of people, and they have, probably hundreds of thousands of people at this point. Thank you, Funky Geneva and Shade Room and Baller Alert and all the black outlets or urban outlets. Because Hollywood Reporter not going to say nothing about it. Deadline.com not going to say nothing about it. I mean, I can't go to the talk shows because Lionsgate and Deb Mar own most of them. I just got to get on my live and speak the truth. And hope, which it has now. I'm sorry, I retract that. I had a conversation that's coming. Just got to clear a few things. Some new stuff has come up. Got some stuff on Monday regarding this case that we got to deal with. Every single day there's a thing. Every single day I'm going to talk about it. And y'all wait till y'all see this episode of She Speaks Live, this season of She Speaks Live, and how these people, my friends, my loved ones, these amazing people, my sorority, Divine Nine, how people are showing up for my family and I is worth everything that we may lose in the process of fighting this giant. What is happening to us should be illegal, but it is not. The fact that I get swiped out of Atlanta, get placed into LA to this particular judge who's known to be that guy, only to discover that his judicial clerk his former judicial clerk now works for the defendants, has worked for the defendants since my case is in LA. So the judge's clerk now works for Lionsgate's lawyers. Who stood a chance here? Not me. I may be loud. I may be straightforward. I may have black gums, knock knees, and be SpongeBob Jr. One thing I'm not is stupid. I understand. I never stood a chance with this guy. Never. Even though in the hearing, I felt like he was leaning in my direction because he was telling them, oh, that's not going to fly. And he said the appeals court usually doesn't agree with his decisions. It's all on oral transcript. Y'all can pull that too. I was thinking, and I was thinking it for a minute because my husband and my BFF and her husband and a couple other people were like, no, this looks promising. This looks promising. And I said, nah, that ain't what it is. My spirit ain't telling me that this guy's going to cut me no breaks. My research on him ain't telling me that he's going to cut me no breaks. And just like clockwork, in spite of the fact that we have oral hearing in just a few months with the Ninth Circuit, I will probably have to end up filing bankruptcy tomorrow because we ain't got it. And they have gotten the approval from him to come get it whenever on whatever day they choose. And that's how the judicial system worked for me. I don't know how it's panning out for y'all or your young sons that go before this system or your young sisters that go before this system or any other creative in an industry that generates billions and billions and billions. And let me say it one more time so y'all understand how many billions of dollars off of the blood, sweat, tears, and creativity of people of color. And how dare we take them to task about it? I already know what it means for me and my family. But here's the thing. I have a sister battling brain cancer there's no cure for. Matter of fact, y'all can donate. Click the link in the bio. We're doing a 5K. It's going to be great. She's doing as well as to be expected. We are praying to God that the treatment that she's taking is working. She is definitely already about to surpass what her prognosis was, right? Because there's no cure for this brain cancer that we discovered a few months before this judge said, screw you, we're throwing it out without a case, right? If she can fight this, if she can wake up every single day of her life at 46, being one of the sweetest, coolest, last people on earth to deserve a brain cancer. If she can get up and fight this every day with everything she has in her and do it with a smile and say, I'm going to live my best life every day, no matter what. I can fight these every single day. I have nothing to lose but my mind if I don't fight your ass. Because that's the only time I'm a break. Right? And again, in all fairness, I'm not saying this is what actually happened. I'm not saying this was actually what I was told. Because God knows we shouldn't be talking about things like that. Right? But hypothetically speaking, I bet, and then I'm going to go on and get ready for my meeting. But hypothetically speaking, I bet that if I made the decision to withdraw my appeal or not even have filed my appeal, I probably wouldn't have to be worried about my grandson's college fund or the fact that my military veteran husband might lose the privilege that he fought for this country for, which is to own a home that we've been in all this time. And that I wouldn't have to be concerned about the shows that I go perform paying Lionsgate, which is worth billions of dollars. I probably wouldn't have to have those judgment issues if I just decided not to file this appeal. Maybe. I'm not saying that's exactly what it is. I'm just suggesting that maybe perhaps if I had really thought it out and decided not to ask the Ninth Circuit for an opportunity to go to trial, that I probably wouldn't be facing them taking everything I got. I want you to know from the depths of my soul that I don't regret one decision I've made in this entire process. I'm not taking back one word I have said in this entire process. And whether it happens this lifetime or the next, you gonna see me. And sometimes the trier of fact is in the spiritual realm. You can block me from getting to a jury here because you lucked up on a judge that agreed with you. Hopefully, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals believes that there are one or two similarities that require a jury to decide whether or not they stole my shit. But even if they don't, Katori, you will never, ever truly be recognized as a person who created this brilliant billion-dollar brand. Because anybody who goes to wirfmedia.com or to my YouTube channel or to my Instagram or follows that Fight For Worth hashtag and looks at those comparisons, nobody's going to believe you no matter what nobody say. Black people ain't believing shit just because you tell us no more. You got to show it. Say it, do it, show it, prove it. That's it. And the fact that I have to wake up every single day wondering when everything we have is going to be seized or other because of these powerful people who were lucky enough to have a judge that agreed with something that nobody else who's seen it would agree with. But he is the judge and jury. Even though we requested 12, we got 1. And he made a ruling. And hopefully this panel of 3, even though they may not have, this decision may not come in time to save our home, or I don't know what we're going to do. We're talking to lawyers tonight. Separate lawyers to figure out how to save everything we worked for all these years. We're not quitting, and we ain't going back. Period. Kamala. Bye.